This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we will call the City of New Richland regular City Council meeting June 13th, 2022 to order. All council present, and we would like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Everybody signed in? Okay. Vanessa is here for...
A couple additions for you, Madam Mayor. If you want to put number 2 under requests and presentations, Vanessa Zinke's here to talk about Finley's Wings at Work street dance for July 23rd.
Okay.
Also, if you want to put number 3, Senator, I believe it's Jean, is that correct?
Correct.
Dornick is here and wants to just introduce himself to the council. And then unfinished business on 2, I would like to add a St. Olaf Lake and Lifeguard update. That's what I have for you.
I'm sorry, what was that?
St. Olaf Lake and Lifeguard update.
Okay.
Under unfinished business.
Okay, any other corrections or additions to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda with additions.
Second.
Motion by Jody, seconded by Chad. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. First, we have the approval of the May 23rd regular council minutes.
Just once again, that's consent agenda, so one motion can take care of all the items.
How about we just go down the list here? Approval of the May 23rd council minutes, approval of the June 8th work session minutes, approval of liquor license for the Willows, and the New Richland Liquor. Is there?
Trappers happening?
No.
Not for this time.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items.
I'll second.
Motion by Chad, seconded by Jody to approve the consent agenda items as listed. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Milo Weckworth.
I do not see him, and I have not talked to him since he requested to be on the schedule, so I guess we'll keep it open. Sometimes we can talk to him.
Okay,
I'll reach out to him.
Vanessa, you're up. It's a hot one. We like people in the hot seat.
I am just here for permission to close the street down, I guess, July 23rd from 8 to midnight for Finley's Wings at Work, out in front of the liquor store. Blue Ringers Band is the band again.
Is that just from the corner? How far north?
To the white building,
To the white building?
to the white building,
And that's what you had last year?
yes. Those are properties Carl owns.
I'll make a motion to approve the closure of Main Street on July 23rd. I'll say 7 to midnight so you can put the
band
gates
owns,
up.
yes, the band
Yeah,
owns.
the band's set up.
Okay, I might caution you, you said Main Street. Do we want to be more specific?
Broadway.
Broadway,
Call it the
Half a block?
100 block of Broadway.
100 block of Broadway.
Motion by Chad, seconded by
Jason.
Jason. You got that verbiage, Tony? Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
like that.
Yes.
Thanks, Vanessa. And Senator, what's his last name?
Dornick.
Dornick,
Hi, Mayor.
welcome.
You want me up there, or?
You sure can.
And I can more than happy to come back next time. I just thought I'd stop by, so if you guys got a full agenda, I don't.
We're okay.
We're good.
We're okay.
Time, so.
Yep.
So I can give you just a little overview. I'm Senator Gene Darnick, and the new district will include New Richland. So I'm just going out and making myself available and introducing myself to some of the newer communities that will be.
So you're replacing Julie Rosen?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's
can't replace her.
Well, I know, I don't, yeah.
He's hoping to replace her.
That's right, that's to be elected, that's correct.
Yeah.
I give a real short little introduction who I am. I grew up on a dairy farm, I got 20 years on the farm. I'm a carpenter and I feel comfortable with your attire because that's usually what I wear to work because I just came off the job and I changed my clothes quick because I was in something like that. So I am a carpenter, self-employed carpenter. I was a union carpenter for 22 years, got laid off in 09 like a lot of people did, and started my business. So we are self-employed and run a carpenter business. Involved in politics much of my life, and I got asked to run, and I did. So now I'm the state senator for District 27, which is Austin Elderly is the kind of the bigger communities. It broadened a little bit to the north. Married for 37 years, got 12 children, 8 girls and 4 boys, 18 grandchildren. So I've been blessed with family. So as far as what we did up there, I know it was, I'll try to be real quick if there's any questions then, but our focus was, well, obviously it was bonding and policy. It's a bonding bill. Unfortunately, we didn't get a bonding bill, so that was really difficult for me. I'm just my second year I've served. So as a carpenter, I like to go to work and you get something done, right? You go to work, it's hard. But some of the things we did get done was the UI trust fund. We did get that $2.7 billion paid frontline workers, $500 million. At that, people are just starting to fill out applications for that. Agriculture, there was a couple things. I'm actually on the ag committee, bonding committee, and labor. The ag committee, we got that bill passed. The big part was the broadband. We had federal money, matching money, so we wanted to get that, use that money. So we got that accomplished. And the bird flu, avian bird flu, there was money for research, and they were actually not research, helping with that. And then they are going to do some research money for continuing with that because that was, again, a big deal. We lost a lot of birds to that. Then the drought relief was in there for livestock producers mainly. Veterans bill was another bill we got done. The tax bill was a big piece. We had a surplus, and with the surplus, we wanted to give the money back, and so the Social Security tax, we wanted to eliminate that. We're just one of the few states that still do it. And then also, we want to do some permanent meaningful tax relief for middle class Minnesotans too. That was our plan. It got skinny down a little bit, but we still had it, but it didn't pass. It didn't get, the House didn't send over the tax bill or the bonding bill. They have to originate in the House. And so we were kind of waiting. We had the spending bills. And I'm not going to get into the weeds of that. I'll give you my number. If you want to talk more, I'm going to be real brief about, I just thank you for your time, but I'll I had some business cards. I put my cell number on that way. If you want to, for coffee or whatever, I'll be more than happy to meet with you. But I think I'll just leave it at that. There's other things that we try to do too. Long-term care and education were the two biggies too that we wanted to spend some money and invest on because everybody knows the group homes, nursing homes, long-term care are in a real bad situation. So we had a really nice bill, $1 billion for that in the Senate bill. And then education, we had the cross subsidy, which is really a big deal. Also, special education and the money that the schools would take out of the general fund to pay for that. That was a mandate by the feds. They mandate it, but they don't fund it. So it's difficult. And so we really wanted to take care of that, and we had that in the Senate bill too. But that's just a real quick overview. Thank you for your time. I look forward to maybe talking more, but that's just real brief.
Couldn't have a second session?
It's a good question. I tell people 50-50 chance. I know they're still talking. The chairs are talking. The governor can call us back anytime, but as I've asked, if they're not moving forward, they don't have a pretty close agreement, then they won't. I know that we're quite a ways apart on public safety was another one of our key giving money to law enforcement, and they had a different idea of the house. So I know they're a long ways apart there. Education, I don't know why, I mean, education, the educators love our bill with the cross-subsidy, mental illness, and literacy. They're kind of the three big components in the Senate bill. We're a ways apart. I'm not on that committee. I just have heard that we're a ways apart on those. So until they get closer, he won't call a session because it's just, it's not productive, and it costs us, or you, the taxpayer, money to do that. And so I definitely don't want to waste your money. So they're still talking, but I haven't heard. So I get an update about once a week or so, and last week the update was they were still discussing, but nothing was getting very close. The other one was the transportation bill, which there's federal money matching there. They are, well, 40% of the sales tax goes to Roads and Bridges Fund, and we wanted to change it to 100%. The gas tax doesn't bring as much income as it used to, so we need more money for roads and bridges, and they are lots of needs there. And so that was one that they, when I say they, the House would like more for transit, public transit in the cities. And
Of course.
so,
Well, but three cities have already rejected that. They don't want the light rail going through them, so their city councils or mayors turned the money down,
Get rid of
turned
the Met Council.
it down. So it may be dead altogether.
So that's where we're on that position too, is to do it to roads and bridges. And so, I mean, for the sales tax to go to that fund instead of the general fund. Or,
They ever figure out that child care fraud and that feeding the future supposed fraud that was going on?
the Feeding the Future one, they're starting to investigate that, and we actually have one of our members is under investigation for part of that.
Okay.
But it's
It'll be a
Be a
long
long
investigation.
process.
exactly, it's hard to, good questions. So
It's our money.
Okay,
How close did you grow up to Greenleafton?
that's where I grew up.
Okay, I grew up south of there, halfway between Granger and Sattersville Church.
Okay, so what's your last name?
Casey.
Casey?
Casey. My dad and mom was Ron and Carol Casey. They lived on Daly Farms.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I live between Greenleaf and Cherry Grove.
You got a brother, what might have been in my grade?
Greg?
Okay, that's
Greg or Jeff or
Greg.
Gwen.
They were in close grade.
Okay. So
Nice
it's a
to
small
see you
world.
downtown,
Well,
yep.
thank you. I appreciate that. No, I say Greenleafton. I mean, I don't ever say it. I say Preston because
Yeah.
nobody knows where Greenleafton is.
Well, how about
Preston sounds,
How about Bristol Store?
Oh, yeah. You know, I know exactly where that is. I went to school in Harmony.
Yeah,
where I was.
so nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yep,
thank you.
any
Like I
other
say, I'll-
questions for him?
I will get a few cards and put my cell on.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Do you want to reach out with your information to me, and that way I have it on file in case you have some questions and stuff?
Sure.
Thank you.
Alrighty. And we'll jump down to ordinances and resolutions, resolution 2208. And if I remember correctly, Tony, it was because we had made a change in hall rental.
Yep, well, so basically, what I was doing was going to update, just adding the CPR instruction charges for the ambulance as part of the fee schedule. When I did a little looking, it appears to me that the updated fees for the city hall rent were never actually adopted, so I added those fees in and changed them to the correct rate, and then I removed the rental charges for tables and chairs since we're not doing those things anymore. So what you'll see is the changes that were made were hall rent for a full day is $125, median is $75, and then the charge for CPR training is $65 per person. And those are the three things that were updated.
Okay, on page 2, it looks like some things may have been color coded or highlighted, like ambulance.
Oh, that's just, so on the sheet of paper, those are the things that change annually, and that's why they're highlighted. Just so that when we go to do the fee schedule, they're easy to find.
Okay,
So none of those changed.
okay.
We didn't have a security deposit for renting back here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but That's never been on the fee schedule
It
because it's not
wasn't listed, it
it's
wasn't
not
updated when we came up with that.
it's not a fee.
But nobody, if we're updating, shouldn't we add it?
But it's not a fee that we charge.
I see what you're saying.
It's a
Okay.
deposit in case something goes wrong.
And they get it back.
Yes.
Yeah, if,
And it's on the.
It's on the agreement, the lease.
Yeah.
It's on-
the
okay.
agreement.
okay, so it shouldn't be added to this.
I don't believe so, but I can check.
Well, no, I think you're right. Since it's a fee, these are fees, that's really not a fee.
It's kind of more like a fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I that's the way that I view it, but I'll.
No, I think that sounds right.
As long as it's on the,
Yeah, it's on the
Agreement.
lease agreement.
and it's something we return if everything's fine.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
I've got a question at the bottom of, I don't know what page it was, but you talk about maintenance department. And you're talking about mowing and dollars per hour. Is that just if can I ask them to put sand on my road?
Well, so I don't know what, I don't know what the official answer to that policy is. I would assume we'd have to check with the league and find out what our thing is. So basically the mowing is, let's say you don't mow your yard and we come mow your yard.
I
That's
understand
the
that,
answer
and
to
snow
that.
removal.
And then the school, we were sanding the parking lot for them and that's where that comes in.
Okay.
play. But now outside of that, I don't know that anybody's ever asked for us to do
If they ask to put it on the street, that's not their responsibility
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It would not be.
Could I ask to have you come up and sweep in front of my house more often?
But I think the real reason that they're on there is if let's say Ellendale calls us and say, can we use your truck?
All right, that
We
makes
can
more
bill
sense.
that, and so then if it's a FEMA reimbursement or something like that, we can get that.
It's
money.
there in black and white, so nobody
Correct.
can
Right.
catch it.
It's unfortunate we don't know where we're going with the water and sewer rates, so we could do this all at once. Nothing, no feedback from,
We can
The
dial in the
auditors?
administrator's report.
okay. So for now, we want to ask for approval on resolution 2208.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Chad to approve resolution 2208, an amendment to the fee schedule. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, ambulance department report.
Sarah Joe was coming to give the report. They got called out on an ambulance call, so she might be back. So if you want
They
to.
just came back in service.
Okay, so maybe you want to just skip to Josh.
Mhm. That'd be fine. We got fire department report.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Let's do that. Everybody's got a sheet in front of them. It says they had 1 fire call, 2 medicals for a total of 3. They did an emergency, is that training?
Driving course,
Or
sorry.
driving?
What does that consist of?
Interweaving in and out of cones, cornerbacking, 3-point turns
Where do you do that?
at the school parking lot.
With the fire truck or
Yeah, fire
both ambulance too?
Well, the ambulance department has to do it too.
Oh, but they do it on their own.
And parallel park.
But that's fun.
Do you have, and this is in the weeds a little bit, but are fire department people rated at different types of trucks they can drive?
No.
Nope.
Everybody can drive everything?
Correct.
Good. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, they don't need an air brake license, which is almost scary, but yes.
So they just have a regular license?
Yep, it's one of the emergency responder exceptions to the laws.
And then pancake breakfast, Saturday, July 9th.
Where at?
Here.
Okay.
It's always in the fire
That's
hall.
right.
Fire hall. Move to approve the fire report.
Second.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Jody to approve the fire department report. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Police department report.
Hello, everybody.
And
Hello.
Josh?
Even?
Any questions to start off? All right, I'll read through the report. The New Richland Police Department responded to 130 calls for service in the month of May. Most calls requiring additional follow-up have been completed. As always, we remind people to get in touch with us if they have any information regarding any incidents that have occurred in the city of New Richland or surrounding areas. Total calls through May of 2022 is 614. Total calls through May of 2021, 503. Items completed in May, 7 ordinance compliance letters were sent out for various ordinances. Follow-up will be done when required
When were they sent out, Josh?
during the month, different days, different times.
How much time do you usually give them?
About 2 weeks, depending on what it is.
Okay, there's one in particular that I just don't feel has done much. And I think you know which one it
We
is,
can discuss that later.
okay? Because that's beyond 2 weeks ago,
We can discuss that later then.
all right?
4 post licenses were renewed in the
What
month
is-
of May for our officers.
I was gonna ask, what does that mean, post?
Post license, so all law enforcement officers in the state of Minnesota have a post license.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Information, garage ventilation. We need to, with you guys' approval, I need to find somebody to come in and see if they can put in an exhaust vent in that garage. It's probably 83, 85 degrees in the garage currently.
It'll be 105.
Maybe more
this
than
week.
that.
Yeah. And
What are
last summer, we lost 3 batteries
Yeah.
in squad cars because of the heat in the garage.
What are you thinking for a system?
I don't know.
We gotta,
I think you should get a price for a mini split.
But we're still gonna have to find a way to get some of that heat out of there. I don't know that the mini split's gonna do enough to get that down. Or do you think it will?
Might be taxing it too.
The mini splits, is that unit that sits on the outside,
Yeah,
comes in
hangs on
through
the
the
wall.
wall? Well, I know what, for one situation, that hasn't been a good investment. Just the experience of that one.
Because it's not big enough, or?
It doesn't seem to do the job when it's cold and doesn't seem to do the job when it's hot.
Well, it wouldn't need to be, I mean, that, you're not talking about a whole lot of square footage in the garage, so.
Well, basically, I mean,
I'm not
if you
talking
had
about
the
a lot of square
humidity
footage out
that
there
would help
either.
Tremendously.
One office,
yeah, the big thing right now is heat.
Oh, at the hut.
Right, but if you had it
No.
cooled down,
Dan's.
If we could get it cooled down, keep it cooled down, yeah. It's-
Is
cause
there-
I just don't think, I mean, an exhaust fan is a great idea, but then you gotta figure out how to close it up in the winter. Cause they're gonna leak a lot of cold air.
Would the exhaust fan be effective?
Yes.
And
To-
just
to a
flip a
certain-
switch and let it suck it
So
out?
why you just put it on a thermostat?
I think you could put a damper on it too for the winter.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to make a cover for the inside, just piece of foam or something, but
Do you know who would be a good person to discuss maybe options for that?
maybe an electrician or call Hogslat or something. They might have a smaller one that they could put on a thermostat like they do on a pig barn or something like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it don't hurt to get prices, check with a few.
Yeah, we gotta figure something out.
Well,
It's getting hot and it's.
They might have
gonna
some
start raining.
ideas too.
So
Thank you very much.
I will move forward with that and try and get something figured out, get some prices.
Okay.
The next thing, I see you have it. You wanna talk about the Lexipol prices now or at the end of the report?
What is it?
Well, so I reached out to Sheriff Milgrath. The sheriff's office is paying $2,800 a year for their Lexipol services, which is the same as what we are roughly, give or take some dollar amounts.
Can you tell us what Lexapro is?
It's all of our policies. All the policies that we're to follow.
Okay, that brings up my issue when I signed checks that week for $2,700 for a police policy. What is that?
That's this program that was
That's
agreed
this?
to like 5 years ago. Yeah.
So what are you asking? Cause it's obviously been paid for,
No, it's an annual subscription.
right?
Yeah.
Didn't you already pay it? That's-
It's $2,700 a year, every year.
So what are you asking from
I'm
us?
bringing this
No,
up
you-
because it was brought to my attention that you wanted to know why we were paying that much
Right,
compared to other departments.
and I was told that the council 4 years ago approved it. Isn't that something that should be approved by each year? I mean, we approve
Yeah.
our LMC, our League of Minnesota Cities Insurance every year. Why is this approved every 4 year, or 4
It
years?
never has been.
It never has been what?
It never has been approved outside of, yes, we want to use this policy service for the police department.
Okay. Input?
I'd just say we might as well put it as an annual thing. I mean, if we need it, we gotta pay for it, so might as well just do it annually. That's my thought.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
What's the purpose of it?
It's our policy, so if we have guidance from League of Minnesota Cities in the state on what we can do legally. So if we vary from that, now we're in a little bit of trouble.
Almost every agency in the state subscribes to this, and the reason why is because as soon as there is a challenge or a decision issued by an appellate court, a Supreme Court, a state court, any circuit court that could potentially affect Minnesota or any other places, this company drafts policy manuals based on that stuff for best practices and gives those tools to the departments so that Josh doesn't have to do that. Now, if Josh has to do that, all the liability is on him and the city of New Richland. So that means Josh needs to spend a couple hours a week researching case law, researching decisions, researching that kind of stuff. And so that's the thing. In addition to that, it also provides daily training bulletins where Josh can send portions of the policy manual out to his staff to have to read and answer questions. And also it documents every time anybody's touched something. So let's say Officer Johansson gets into a use of force situation, okay? And now he says during his interview, I knew nothing about that. Now Josh can go back to the software and it can say, whoa, yes, you do, because on January 5th of 2020,
Okay.
you acknowledge that policy.
You know, I always feel like everybody gets defensive when we ask these questions, but they need to be asked, okay? You've explained it. They obviously change from year to year that much that this Lexapro can
They can
charge.
change weekly.
They can. And what happens if they do?
Then
They're updated.
Josh
Do we get
acknowledges it and
updates?
sends it out to everybody.
We get updates.
Oh, that's the
Okay.
price for that
It's a question.
software. Yeah.
It's a question.
Tell them what the PD's paying for that software.
Waseca Police Department pays anywhere from $5,000 to $7,500 per year to use the software.
We got lucky and got in
Didn't you
when the
just say
sheriff's office did.
2,800?
That's what the county
That's
pays.
what Waseca
Oh, that's
County
county.
pays. Yep.
Why
So-
are they different?
Well, that's the difference. So the Sheriff's Association made a deal with Lexipol. They were the first ones in the state to have it. And the deal was that all the sheriff's office got it for $2,700 across the board. So all 87 counties got it for $2,700.
Okay.
That was shortly after I left the
What the
sheriff's
racket?
office.
It is a racket.
Yeah, that was shortly after I left the sheriff's office, so we were lucky enough to get in at the same price point for here.
Okay.
But that's what I'm talking about. There's a cost of doing business with the police department. This is one of those things that we really don't have much of an option to not pay for. I mean, we could, but if
And that's
If we
where
had
I'm
to
going
pay
with-
for it without the county, I mean, we would be at the $5,000 mark probably if you didn't get into that deal when you got it.
Right. And that's always the reason for my questions, guys, is we need to understand why all these expenses that we get to ask to approve, what they're for.
and the problem with things like
We can't
that,
just say, oh yeah, approve it, and we don't even know what they are, okay?
the problem with thing like that is they send us a bill and it's got to be paid in 2 weeks. We don't have time to,
Discuss it.
right. So that's why just those things that have always been, they're things that we can't not go with, just have been done, so.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to training and education. Last month, I attended a leadership academy. Officer Bruger attended the Minnesota Association of Women Police Conference, and Officer Johansson attended DMT training. Personnel, Officer Victorino is continuing to work through field training. Squad maintenance, Squad 270 had both front lower control arm bushings replaced, along with front brakes and rotors changed out. Upcoming events, we have Farm and City Days, July 8th, 9th, 10th, and then Night 2 Night, Tuesday, August 2nd. Any questions?
How many miles does squad car 270 have on it?
270 has 105,000 roughly.
Roughly
Squad 260 has 130,
33 or I think is what it was at.
133,000.
How long do we usually keep the cars?
If you want, both squad cars, squad 260 needs to be replaced. It has needed to be for a while. 270 is going to be getting up there shortly.
Okay.
So,
We bought both of them used from
Oh, they were used when they were bought.
Okay,
Okay.
Orinoco or
Or no.
Orno, yeah.
And we're just kind of waiting for the audit so we can see where we are in the capital reserve.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, Owatonna Park's about 80,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
when I talk to other officers and deputies from around the area and they ask how many miles their squad cars on, they're like, that's not real. But smaller town.
we have been lucky that we've been getting the sergeant's cars from Orono, so they haven't been real beat too bad when we get them. So, and for the price point that we're getting them at, it's really not a lot comparatively. I mean, the equipment in the car is probably between $8,000 and $9,000, and the last one we got for 11. So I mean, we're basically getting the car for $2,000 in the equipment,
Mhm.
you know. So, and they've been great cars, but
Yeah.
then it's just they've gotten to that point where it's, you know, and
What years are they?
they're both 2015s.
So we've had an increase of 111 calls from last year to this date. What are most of those calls in regards to? Just a variety of things? Is there a
Variety of
majority?
Everything. We've gotten a lot of fraud calls, people getting phone calls saying, hey, you need to send me money. A lot of those. But everything is up. It's kind of an open-ended question. Everything is increasing.
Okay. So there's not one thing like
No,
traffic or
no,
break-ins or something?
no.
Okay. Move to approve the police department report?
second.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Chad to approve the police department report. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Josh.
Josh.
Thank
I
you.
just need,
Have a good one.
I need 2 more minutes of your guys' time, please.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Oh, you better get it out.
Oh.
Come on up, Administrator Martins.
You can't do this kind of crap.
I'm doing it on camera so everybody else can see. On behalf of the New Richland Police Department,
Oh,
we'd like to offer you this sign of our gratitude and appreciation for everything that you did to us.
awesome.
To us.
To us? That doesn't sound good.
Thank you.
That is
That's awesome.
nice.
Hold it up so Sarah can get it.
That's great.
Are you a little embarrassed there?
I just, you have no idea. This means so much right here. So,
Yeah, that seems
thank
appropriate,
you.
huh?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, great.
Officer Johansson, carry on. All right, now the ambulance report. And we have decided that we as a council don't need to have everything read.
Oh, this is short and sweet.
Yeah, still don't need it read.
Don't,
Don't read it.
You don't need it read?
No,
no,
No.
we all can
we've
read.
already read them.
Yeah,
Oh.
we get our packet
I
last
almost
week.
said something I didn't want to interrupt.
Do you have any questions on anything Sarah wrote on here?
That a girl.
There you go.
Just wait.
Oh, now you're rereading it.
Yes.
You haven't set anything up yet for CPR class?
I was just gonna
We picked a date, so we just need to, I think Sarah's gonna come in on her day off this week and we're gonna get it plastered to the wall.
Maybe,
You had good responses?
Well, we've had some people looking for classes, so
yeah,
picked a date that'll work.
did you pass on maybe talk to Matt at the bank? I think he might be interested in doing an employee thing,
Oh, okay,
so why don't you reach out to him?
okay. I know the care center is too, so,
Okay.
yep.
When you do the drunk goggles, do the kids, anybody who wants to try this out have to be 21 or older?
I don't think so, because in the videos, there was younger people.
Oh,
It might not hurt to have
It's
underage,
crazy,
huh?
they're like these big cone things, and then it's like a kaleidoscope type thing, so you can't see, and then they try to walk straight and stuff, it's pretty
Okay.
interesting.
I didn't know.
But I think it'll be eye-opening, because
It's-
people don't realize.
It's very eye-opening,
How realistic is it?
pretty realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, it completely covers, it's like baseballs put on each of your eyes, and
It makes you
kaleidoscope
kinda-
thing, yeah,
kinda-
you get very disoriented.
If you get a chance, check out South Central
That could be
EMS's page
thrown
on
out.
Facebook, and they actually have police officers, they had big
I know what it
tricycles,
feels like on
and
the.
they actually had police officers put them on and try to do a obstacle course, and they were
Oh.
driving over cones, and so it is,
Realistic.
yeah.
I was just wondering if there was an age thing, that's all.
I don't think so, because some of the videos, that's the video I was watching, and there was people that were obviously under 21. What do you think about it?
I would
mean,
say try
I think
to
if-
keep it around 16 and above.
Yeah, I was thinking if you're a driver or above, that's probably, I
Okay.
think little kids, that probably would affect their
oh,
vision and stuff.
They
yeah,
must,
it'd probably
they might
throw
look
up.
for cookies
I'm
too.
sure there's
Yeah,
rules, there's rules that come with it.
Get all vertical.
And
Yeah,
I have another question. How many new crew members are there?
so we had Aaron and Jaden just finished their skills week.
So two?
they just need to take their tests.
Okay,
And then Sam came to us as an EMT, so he's doing student time right now. And then Eric is an EMT student, and he's already an EMR, so he's been coming up and doing student time too.
so 4 then.
So how
Okay.
many do we have total?
I think we're at 20.
I was gonna say, the last I heard, I thought we were around 16, but
So,
Okay,
but we
good,
do, I
good.
think we have one person who's supposed to recertify this year who's not going to, so we will possibly lose one EMR.
are the ones that were of concern of not putting in the hours they were call time, are they stepping up?
Well, one is the one that doesn't think they're gonna recertify, and then the other has been
Good.
sign up for some time now, so,
So,
Okay.
good.
Okay.
yeah. Any questions?
How about Chad, is he doing anything?
No, not this month. Too much on the plate.
I'd send him a letter.
No problems with the rig?
Chad follows the rules, he follows the policy book, he writes us a letter and tells us, hey, you know what, in the summer, I work 500 hours a week,
Good for you.
I can't complain on the ambulance.
Use him as, use him as an example.
Any problems with the rig?
No.
Good.
Not as of
No
late.
news is good.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
All right, move to approve the ambulance report.
Second.
Motion by Lawrence, seconded by Jody to approve the ambulance department report. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
Thanks, Herb.
You're
Thank
very
you, Sarah.
welcome.
Don't forget to check with Matt.
I'll make a note so I don't forget.
I got a note on here.
You got a note?
Yep.
All right. I won't make a note then.
Oh, I wish
To
we
these
could put
guys.
this to bed, this DocuWare stuff. So basically, Tony, what we're asking for from, according to the minutes, because I had to remember, because in the paper it said we approved to go ahead. But basically what we need to do tonight is decide which bundle we want, right?
Yeah, so basically you just asked for hard, for sure numbers of the various things because we weren't quite positive, so.
Right.
Long story short, it's $1,845 no matter which plan we choose. An annual cost for a one-year subscription is $3,021. Otherwise, you can do a monthly at a 3-year level or a 5-year level. And obviously, if you guys were to decide to do anything, none of this would be billed until after the first of the year. They wouldn't have everything billed out and ready to go. So if it's something you want to do, they would like to know those so they can do it. And obviously, we can build that into our budget discussions if this is the way that you wish to go.
We're not gonna get charged for any of it,
Nope.
not even the setup?
No, because it'll take them a while to get that done and complete
Well,
it.
That's what they said there when they were
Yeah.
last.
So,
I think that's the one we should go with right up there on the screen,
Which one?
the first one. Cause then it's,
What is that, the 3-year one?
No, it's just an annual cost, so.
Yeah, but can I ask a question, Tony?
Yeah.
On page 9 and page 8, on the cloud base, the modules that are included are the same for each one,
Correct.
but one's $291 and one's $319. Is that because one's 2 years, the 5-year versus,
So the
you
way
get the
that-
same thing?
So the way he explained it to me is that when you do a monthly subscription plan and choose what year you do,
Mhm.
they actually finance it. So that's why the 5-year plan costs more than the 3-year plan, is because you're paying the cost to finance that
For 2 months.
interest and all
Okay,
that stuff roped into one.
okay.
So I agree with Jason. I think if you're gonna do it, I would rather pay annually, because you're gonna save about $300 to $500 by not doing it a monthly subscription.
Okay.
But I
So
mean,
we would have to budget for almost $5,000.
for the first one too, yep. And I would assume, and I'm saying this is because I don't know, because I haven't seen the numbers, but I assume that somewhere, I mean, you guys budgeted a significant amount to capital reserve through the budget process this year. And I don't know where that all went. So my suggestion would be, once we have all that information in front of us, I would assume that initial $2,000 should be able to be taken out as a capital reserve for a setup fee for something like that. And then we would budget just the annual 3021 as part of the budget process.
Okay.
Sounds fair enough.
So,
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I think when we did the budget and we had X amount of dollars and said, yep, put that all in capital reserve, at that time, I don't think we itemized. So once we get the audit, then we can go
Okay.
through it.
yeah. So that would be my recommendation to you guys, if this is the software that you want to use. And I think that I really like the guys from Coordinated, so I kind of have a little bit tough time with this. These guys' service doesn't necessarily always add up, but at the same time, we just gotta, with Coordinated, they just came without asking. They were always here checking on us every quarter. They came and fixed stuff. Brody and his staff will do that. It's just that we have to request it instead, or we have to set it up ahead of time. If I want to see them every 6 months, I just need to tell them that I need to see them every 6 months. So I think they'll be fine, and I think that in order for Consolidated to build the same software, we were looking at closer to probably $5,000 a year, because they just don't have. I mean, this is what Metro does, so they've got it all built. It's just a matter of using our intricacies to
Put it together
communicate
and get it up in the cloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this will comply with every other program that we.
It'll automatically do all of our. We've already got it set up so that once they have it trained, then instead of Sarah scanning invoices and then taking invoices and then bringing them into Banyan and then assigning them to Banyan, this will just everything into Banyan, especially our regular things like our Excel Energy bills and Minnesota Energy, all the stuff we pay on a week or a monthly basis. That'll automatically import, and all she has to do is just look at it real quick and assign it. Look at it, assign it, look at it, assign it, and it's done.
Well, it sounds like it's less labor intense and less room for error.
Yeah. The other thing it can do is that if we, according to the way that I understand it, is we have an accounts payable email address for New Richland. They can use that to take that, and if they know that the bill goes to the police department or the fire department ambulance, they can actually spit it to those departments first, get them to approve it, and then it goes to Sergio.
Oh.
So it can also track,
More spending.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So they'll make it as awesome as we want it, or as limited as we want it. We just gotta tell them the way we want it.
So after using it 3 months, 6 months, and we say, hey, we need this tweaked, is there a charge for them?
No, this includes the annual service contract and
Support.
training and support and
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Well,
the
good.
good thing is after a couple of years, you'll have feeder reports for audits and stuff like that.
Very
You won't have
easy
to bill it.
searchable PDFs and easy ways to grab information for the auditors.
What we have now is not that easy.
It's searchable. It's a clunkier system. I mean, even Consolidated said that, most of their customers are in the cloud. I mean, we're one of the very few left that
Sure.
still is
Most
operating on
everyone
this server.
got their stuff up on the clock.
So, but I just think if you're gonna do it and you're gonna do it right, why not work with a system that you've already got? I mean, the copier's Metro-based, everything. I mean, if you try to work with two separate systems, they'll
Just
work.
don't, it'll work, but it's a pain.
It's
in the
not a
neck.
good idea.
So,
It's best just to get established with one
Communication.
company.
Okay, on that note,
I'll make a motion, we'll go with that note that Tony just talked about.
The annual fee,
the
Yes,
annual fee of the setup with no billing until after the first of the year.
correct.
I'll second that.
okay, motion by Jason, seconded by Chad to approve the annual subscription, to DocuWare for $3,021 plus the $1,845 setup fee. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Alrighty, we don't have to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I don't have to talk to the salesman anymore.
Yeah,
Only at odd
I know that he's pretty persistent.
He's very persistent.
Yeah, in my experience with him too. All right, moving on to St. Olaf Lake. And that's funny, it was one of my questions I was gonna ask tonight at the end.
Okay, well,
Oh,
so.
that didn't sound good.
Well, so it's just, okay, so here's the deal. We had, as I told you in the past, we had kind of everything ready to go for swimming lessons and everything else, and everything was kind of going well. And then Sarah had started calling all the lifeguards to kind of get them coming paperwork and get everything figured out and stuff. And the two people that were doing our WSI, we're not calling her back, we're not calling her back, we're not calling her back. Finally, 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, she made contact with one of the girls and she said, I'm not gonna do it anymore. And then the Friday, she made contact with the other girl who also said, I got a different job, so I'm not interested.
Oh, boy.
So we had a week. We did everything within our power to try to find something. We called every lifeguard, just to put it into perspective for you, the Geneva pool is opening up for 2 weeks to do lessons, and then they're closed for the season. They're not opening the pool.
Right, I saw that.
So we were trying to work with them to see if their lifeguards could come do our training, to try to do some sharing. We spent all week, Sarah and I, and we never got around. We couldn't get it figured out. So Thursday, Jesse Raymond, who's on the ambulance, agreed to, this week there is a water safety instructor course in Mankato. She's agreed to take that. She actually went to her first one today to take it. She explained to Sarah, Joe, and me that she's interested in actually managing the WSI program for our lifeguards for the next couple of years, if that works.
Because you have people signed up, right?
Yeah, so that's
For
another
lessons.
thing. So since we didn't get that Friday, we had to send an email because it was supposed to start today. We sent an email to all the families and said, listen, this is what happened. It's beyond our control. There's nothing, because we can't have a program without WSI.
Right.
I mean, it's just, the Red Cross won't give you the stuff. And so actually all but 2 families were very receptive. We pushed the first one off. Instead of doing this week and next week, the first one's gonna be next week and the following week. And then anybody that wanted to switch to 2 or 3 switched. So we didn't really have too many problems, and it all kind of got taken care of. So Jesse will be done on Friday with that, and then we can do lessons next Monday. So that's kind of the way that'll happen.
that's good.
Do we reimburse her for,
Well, that's kind of where I wanted to go. So
how much was it?
we haven't done anything yet. I told Sarah to just pay her class. I said I don't want to make her pay for that up front when she's helping us out on a whim to get this taken care of. So we paid for her class. The only thing that I would say is that I don't think the $16 is enough to have her do that program. So my question is, would the council be willing to increase the WSI compensation to $18 for this season due to the significant challenges in maintaining a water safety instructor?
And we went 12 on the lifeguards?
It was 12 and 14 or 12
Yeah,
or 14 and
13 or
16 or
something
something.
like that.
Yeah. So, and then I would also ask that we pay her time in the class.
Mhm.
So,
At whatever we agree
yeah.
for wage.
She's taking the city car over there, so she's not doing mileage. I just would ask to pay for her chair time and then pay for her salary. And I think that $18 an hour is more than fair. So,
She's
Well, if
helping
she's
us out.
gonna run it and schedule She's gonna.
We'll still work with Sarah Joe, but we won't have to worry about the WSI part of anything from here on out.
Right.
She'll be able to do lifeguard training with, or not the training portion, but she'll be able to kind of manage the lifeguards and help Sarah take care of that and kind of take that off of her plate.
Have all the lifeguards taken their their?
Yep, the ones that are, the lifeguards that we have are trained and ready to go, we just need that WSI to do lessons.
How many are left?
2.
Ooh, wow.
So we're gonna do lessons and have lifeguards at lessons.
Didn't we
and
have
that's it.
6 or 7? Oh, kids.
No commitments anymore from kids, it's different.
Yeah.
So we have Jesse and 2 lifeguards.
Yep, and so we'll get through lessons, and then if those 2 lifeguards want to work like a Friday, Saturday or something like that, we'll try to run that. But I think Sarah Joe and I kind of at this moment in time with the concession stand have kind of just decided that we're just not gonna do anything with it, because
Can't do both
yeah,
with
No.
yeah.
No, with the number that we first talked about, it would have been nice. We
Yeah.
could have rotated them.
Yeah.
With
And like I
two-
said, it's not just our problem. I mean,
two. Right.
No.
Geneva has a beautiful pool and they're not even be able to keep it
It
open.
was even on the news the other night about a shortage of lifeguards. all
With
over.
2 people, you can hardly even fill a schedule out.
You
Yeah, but
can't-
if we're just doing lessons.
Right, but I'm, you know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you have to give them a break.
Yep.
So you can't just have one person out there.
I don't
My-
think they're gonna be real happy about just doing weekends either afterwards, but
Yeah,
we can cross that bridge.
Yep.
yeah, we'll
That's what I
manage
was
it.
saying. Wait till that happens.
But that's my
Okay,
request. to the
so-
council.
We have, I would say that in the motion, we make a motion that we paid for her class. We approve that. And whatever wage.
So
you
how
decide.
long is she in the classes during, is it
It's just
all-
like 3 or 4 hours each day,
This week.
just 5 days, or it might even be just Monday through Thursday. I don't know for sure.
So it's not like it's a 9
No,
or 8 hour?
No,
And that motion
So a
is
lot of
supposed to
times
say
spent in the pool
wages
too.
paid for class time.
Yeah.
So there's 3
Good thing.
components to that,
Quote, motion.
I would say. Get it all in one. Okay, guys, what do you think?
Trying to think of what you said.
I make a motion that we pay
18.
Jesse's training,
Jesse's training and
wage
Sup-
of,
lessons. What was that?
would you like me to make a recommendation for you, Chad?
Sure, that would be awesome, because that's a lot to remember.
To pay for Jesse's class, set her wage at $18 an hour, and pay for her time in the classroom.
I'll make a motion to that.
I like it.
Is there a second?
Oh, I'll second that.
Motion by Chad, seconded by Jason. Tony has the verbiage. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. That is disappointing.
Very.
Yep,
It's
Didn't
the
you
new
report
era.
6 or 7?
I think it was 6 with the 2 WSIs that we had.
Is it the money?
Well,
Or not
partially,
enough
I
hours?
think, because we lost a couple of Owatannas, Riverside, whatever
Yeah.
thing, and a couple to Wasika. So
I think the water parks and the golf course pools, and
Well,
they're prestigious.
They want to be with
there's
their
no,
friends.
no dirt, no grime, and then you get to sit
No
in
raking
weeds.
leaves.
You get to
or
sit
weeds.
in an air-conditioned shack for a half hour on your break, and, you know,
No weeds, no leeches,
Right.
no swimmer's itch.
That's part of living. That's part of living.
Yeah, well,
All right, April, I guess we'll go right down here. April financials.
The only thing I will say is there's some negative sections and positive sections, and that just reflects either journal entries or changes I made from one
Okay.
place to
I
another
was gonna
place, so
ask
don't
you
get too hung up on that. But I'll answer any questions if you have them, that I can.
Quite honestly, what I did is I skimmed through April and I focused on May because I want to know where we are now. And when I look at how much of the budget is left on April, it did increase in May, which is good. We have gotten very little revenue, and our big
Yeah.
revenue should be coming.
I have a $295,000 check on my desk right now, I'm just waiting for Jason to help me figure out because some of them are bond payments and things, and I
Yeah.
have to get that figured out.
I think at the end of June, we'll have a much better picture because we'll have some real estate tax and,
And I sent the care center both invoices for in lieu of taxes for 2021 and 2022, so that should be coming.
okay.
That's nice.
But, you know, as I looked through it, it is what it is. I've said all year,
Well, and
I'm a broken record, that I'm nervous about the budget we set. I
And
don't
on
think it-
revenues, so there was no budget set on some of the revenues.
Right,
Right?
So it's not a precise picture because those didn't get put in there.
no. You know, the budget is merely a guideline, and as badly as we want to stay in that guideline, it's,
Right. But what I can tell you is I'm very happy to say that everything, minus a few little tiny things, is straightened out, or at least to a point where, like, when I did payroll the other day, I had payroll that was due on the
Yeah.
25th. The 25th? Yeah. I did that on the 23rd, and within 15 minutes, I had everything in fund accounting, all the liabilities paid to deferred comp and the other places, and everything was ready to go before we even put the payroll out, which is crazy because it's taken me a month and a half to
Get to that
caught
point.
back up. So everything's going through, everything's coming in, so I agree with you. May is still kind of a shoddy picture. June should be a very
a true,
realistic picture of where we're at.
yeah, it'll give us a better idea.
Yeah.
Before we hit budget time.
Correct. Which is July.
And before we, you know, we can start working on, working on the budget in July, but once we get that end of July one, will even be better.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better from here on out.
Yeah,
Correct.
The revenue will start coming in.
Yep, and you should have seen in, the care center one, you should see the revenue coming in now, from their payments on, whatever that thing is that they,
Yeah,
We
the
reimburse for
reimbursement,
$7,900
yeah.
reimbursement.
I've been parking.
Yeah, so if you look in the nursing home, under
I see.
revenue, you'll see that,
Page 6.
refunds and reimbursements, you'll
Yeah.
see,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, there's 79, 39, 11 that came in April, and so we're a total of 27, 260. So that's where you're
Yep.
seeing that refund coming back in.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a huge challenge in the last couple of budgets because there were so many holes. So I feel confident we're gonna get there in this budget, this next budget.
How's our ambulance collections going? It looks like we're
Um,
lagging behind a little bit as far as,
So I did, as you requested, I did reach out to him last week to try to get a monthly statement about what was going on so that I could bring that to you with the ambulance report, and I did not hear anything back. So I will reach out to him again. and
We are
find out.
way behind on that.
Yeah, and I don't,
yeah, see, I don't know what the lead time or the.
yeah. So
Aren't they supposed to be, giving us reports on what's a receivable and
that's what I said. I reached out to him to ask for that information for the meeting.
we
and I
should
didn't
be
get
getting
it.
them?
So it's on my list to ask him why that's not coming. And it's very possible, because Sarah Jo was so working on that lifeguard thing really hard last week. There's apparently a box that they have that's a secured sharing site, and he may have just put it in there.
Okay.
So I'll get that figured out. But yeah, I did request that information because I know that's what you were looking for, so.
I think that'd be very helpful for the council to see.
What was that, a 2-year thing or 1-year thing?
I think it was just 1 year, wasn't it?
Expertise, I think, a 4-year contract.
Oh,
It's more than one,
I was
Is
just curious.
because I know that
because it
ISOL
seems
is
like
one. And I
It
know
was
that
supposed
expertise
to be
is more.
so easy
Oh.
transition.
it has not been.
So I'll let you know for sure.
Okay.
All right, so, I kind of skipped over the accounts payable, but let's take care of the April and May financials, as long as we were talking about them.
Move to approve
I'll second.
Which months?
April and May.
May.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
motion by Lauren, seconded by Jody to approve the April and May final revenue expenditure reports. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I just know, I mean, there's sales tax, Tony, on page 2.
Yep.
There's 2 amounts there. Can you explain that?
Yep, one is for water and one is for garbage.
Okay. I thought maybe it was a breakdown.
Nope, and so like, I need to look back now because I think maybe in March when I filed it, I might have actually put it in one account. But when I was looking, I found out that they need to be going into separate liability accounts. So, yeah, one is water, one is the water collection and sales tax, one is the garbage collection and sales tax.
Okay, and you got the federal withholding and state withholding all straightened out?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Everything should be current now to when ISOL took over.
And they actually are paying it?
They're paying it,
Good.
correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to sign power of attorney for them to take care of that, but yes, they're getting the reports and paying that for us.
So the deductions we're getting, they're gonna deduct it from our bank account, what they send in?
No, they're taking our withholdings out every paycheck,
Okay,
and then they're just
sure,
sending it.
duh, yeah. And then just billing us for, each check, payroll check.
We are getting billed for a monthly service fee of $475 plus $12 a check or something like that.
Okay,
Mhm.
remember that it was gonna be monthly fee, but
So what's our financial procedures say about the amount of a check? Is it $500 that the council's supposed to approve?
No, department heads can approve up to 500, that's budgeted.
Okay,
Anything between 500 and 1,000 should be one council member, and then you have your thing of if it's, yeah, it can be one council member if it's a emergency or something like that. Otherwise it should come to
okay,
the council.
okay.
Yeah, and we can adjust that if you want to change that. I'm fine with that because I actually just did up a new voucher sheet that's a lot easier for everybody because I actually get technical, but put a macro in it so there's a drop down box so the police puts police and it actually pops up the 42,100 for me so that I have that there and then the account and all that stuff. But there's a section about this big that I can actually put the city's spending policy right on there.
Okay,
if you remember right, we came up with that little form that every time they
yeah,
bought
that's
something.
just, that'll be my next question. Are all the department heads using that
Yes.
form? Okay, when they want something?
Yeah.
Even local, if they want to go to Budox or?
Not usually for those things because Budox will send an invoice to
Okay.
us that's itemized. And then Sarah, Joe and I will just go through and code those to the right places.
So if they need fuel, gas for the lawnmowers?
No, because those are all, maintenance has a gas card, police department has a gas
Oh,
card.
okay.
So that all gets put separately.
Okay.
But like if they go to, like, let's say they run to New Richland or home and whatever, and they get a few items, they actually have one for PD, one for this, and so it all comes
Okay.
itemized.
So then you know what department, when you get it, to
Yeah,
charge it to.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then if we have questions, everybody's really good, and actually Eric's great, if he goes and spends money, he tells us right away where he went and spent it, so we know that it's coming for, but yeah, if an invoice comes in that I don't know about, or I want a copy of it, I'll print that voucher form and give it back to them and make them fill it out.
Okay, no, yeah,
So,
you should do.
yeah.
Because this only aids in doing an accurate budget.
Well, not only that, but I don't worry about that so much as to when 2 years from now, the auditors ask for this and what it was for, and then that sheet of
You can't
paper is
find it.
attached to it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's easier
Okay.
to find.
All right, thank you.
I know this is petty, but that closet in there is jam-packed full of office supplies.
Yeah.
But we see office supplies every month.
Yeah, and I don't know what,
Are we ordering just for fun?
no. See, the thing
we
is,
get
it's
free
just,
gifts?
it's easy just to put office supplies under office supplies. So I don't know what,
Well, like Quill, it's broken down.
yeah. So basically
Magnetic
what I wanna do is I wanna get through that closet, but I was trying to get those financials taken care of.
Yeah.
To get to that point. So normally those are like paper, office paper goes into office expenses. Yeah,
It just seems like we buy a lot of office stuff.
yeah,
You know, it's a tendency in my past life as a teacher and an administrator, if I had 3 boxes of magic markers in my room, I'd go, gosh, that's probably enough for the year, but I think I'll get 3 more, just in case, or black markers,
In case they
or
dry out.
crayons, or whatever it was. You have a tendency, and maybe it's an educational thing,
Well, no,
teacher thing, but
I see where you're coming from. I think part of the problem is we may have some of that stuff, but it's not organized well. It needs to be
yeah, it probably needs to have an
organized.
inventory and
Yeah,
organized.
and so it's on my,
That's why I said that closet's plumb
Yeah,
full
yeah.
and we're still ordering.
yeah, and you know, the thing is, there's stuff in there that we'll never ever use for office supplies that were ordered probably 20 years ago that, you know, won't ever get used. So, but you're right, no, it just needs, but when you said concentrate on the financials, I took that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Well, that's getting better, so that's
So,
wonderful.
yeah, so it is on my short list of things to do because we're trying to find a way to clean out the vault to organize back there. And there's some stuff in there that can help us organize the closet. So we're trying to get, so this week, actually, later this week, Sarah, Joe and I are gonna start every Thursday. We're gonna bring that office or that cart from the kitchen into the vault, go through stuff, and anything that doesn't need to be in that area, we're gonna go put in our alternate record storage location.
Has the care center done anything
No.
about, can you push that a little bit?
I can now
Try.
without the administrator, it's gonna be a tough push, but yeah. I can.
Just see what they
Yep.
can do for us. The Star Eagle, seriously, $320 for lifeguard ads?
Yeah.
What are they charging us?
Well, so here's another thing too, is that you don't see the $600 bill they sent us as well, because I'm
For,
disputing that, because, I asked Eli to provide me with a, quote to run our water report in the paper,
Mhm.
and I never got anything, and then it ran, and then we got a bill for $600.
We ran it without you. Oh.
So, and we're discussing that to
Are
see
you-
where that's gonna go.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what the rate is. I do know that in the past, and I can't tell you that right now because I don't know, but in the past, we've paid a significantly higher rate than the county does, when they were there. I don't know if they're still the official paper of
I
Waseca
think
County
they
or
are for
not.
this year.
But they would always, the rate for the Waseca County would be way lower than our rate, so I don't know what the actual rate is, but.
because how many times did I know we advertised multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know, Sarah, Joe and I talked about it, so it's on. our
Let's
radar.
say it was 4 times, that's still
Advertising
125.
isn't cheap.
No, it isn't.
$80 an ad.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
super
it's
cheap.
getting-
Depends on the size too, right?
Yeah.
How much you pay for your ad in the paper?
$60.
That's 2x3, isn't it?
$60 a month.
That's crazy. And we probably did run that for 4 months, or 4
It all
weeks.
depends on
I'm
the
thinking it
size.
felt like,
Yeah, the size is the whole big deal.
It is the size.
and if you ask them to box it, then it's
Yeah.
even more. Then it's even more.
So we'll keep digging into that, but yeah, we'll, yeah.
Okay.
It was one of those things where we needed lifeguards. What do you do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the checks? Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Chad, seconded by Lauren to approve the check detail register for, actually, May accounts payable. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. What is, I don't want to talk about
Job
this.
classification, right?
I'm really struggling with this expense, guys. I think we got it. I was hoping that we actually could get. I was hoping he'd come
I can ask him to come. I
because,
can ask him to come to the next meeting if you'd like.
what do you think before we make any decisions on this? We have options here, but
Yep.
they're not all that clear.
I was just gonna say more clear cut.
Well, I can give you a
Separation.
more clear definition if you're looking.
Well, let's just for the fun of it, saying, we just want a market study
Okay.
for $2,500.
Yep.
Do we really need to have our job descriptions redone?
No, that's not part of that process.
It
The market
says-
study is simply You give us your positions, we'll take the data that we have and we'll spit at you what those should be paid. That's what that is.
It says descriptions as needed with additional cost.
Where do you see that?
Markets, are we going down? Yeah, we
Yeah.
should be going
Hang on,
Under
down.
market
Let me get
study.
to
Page 12, right?
Scope of work, review and rewrite job
Maybe I'm
descriptions.
looking at the wrong one. Hang on, let me
It'd
get
be
to that
page 12,
Page what?
page 12 of 14.
It's the second box under market study.
Oh, so that's, yeah, that's, don't look at that so much. Look at the, did I not give you the proposals with the 4 different packages?
Right.
Yeah, you did.
It's the
Kind of.
beginning.
Well, it's right, it's listed right down
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Write and classify
Yeah.
a new or revised job
Yeah,
description
so-
is $300 per position.
Yep,
Yeah.
down here. I don't know, I think we looked at our job descriptions as we hired people and,
Yeah, he doesn't need us, he doesn't need to do them. If we're happy with our job descriptions, they'll take the job descriptions we have. and
well, I
use
guess that would be my question then.
Yeah.
Here he's saying descriptions as needed with additional cost.
Right,
So what's he gonna do with it for
So-
$2,500? Just look at them?
you're talking, market study? No, so basically, so the market study is just basically the market study. They're not doing anything other than saying, based on the job descriptions that you've provided us, this is the low range and this is the high range that you should be paying your people. That's it, that's the only thing that they do for that. So the 20 or the 4,500 one will actually assist us with the calibration of the pay, and I don't know how much, what does assist means. But
That's what I think I want in
yeah.
here.
So, yeah, we can, but basically what he said is for that full price, they will come in and they will create a wage system for the city of New Richland based on kind of the way that they've done it, and then they will provide the market study data and show us where we're at. And let's say that we're either overpaid or underpaid, and let's say if we're underpaid, you would eventually like to see us caught up. They will actually help you create a 4 or 5, 6 year plan to help bring you to that point.
Good.
Or look at those things. So I do think that this is a important topic to be had right now, because with the care center thing, and I learned today that at least one of our police officers received a conditional offer of employment from the sheriff's office. And I don't know if another one did or not, but I think we're going to be probably needing to have that information.
Mhm. No, it is important, because when it's not about the money, it is about the money.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
leave, and money and benefits.
I did speak with, Sarah Jo and I met with Jessica from Minnesota Valley Council of Governments this morning, and we talked specifically about this process, and she said that with as long as we've gone without any type of formalized process, she said it's kind of imperative to have a third-party person come in and kind of help you create it. The nice thing she said about that as well is that, I'm not driving this, so not that I'm saying people would, but I'm sure there's people around budget time or community members that say, well, city staff is driving this process, so they're inflating the numbers or they're inflating this. When you have a third party from the outside looking in that's sharing these numbers on current market study values and can show the citizens or show you guys that these positions are the positions that are severely underfunded, and you can show that during budget time and tax time to the people that you represent and say, hey, we understand, but this is the reason why we have to do that, because we have to remain competitive, or we have to keep these people, or we have to find new people. And it's not so much the people that you have now, but if I leave, if Sarah leaves, if somebody else leaves, how do we recruit and market ourselves to find somebody who's not going to be every 2 years leaving? Like our care center.
That leads to my question of, in the future, that this $6,700, if 2 of those guys leave, the amount we have to give to somebody replacing them, will that encompass the $6,700? To where that $6,700, we say, let's take and give more benefits or more pay, then we'll have money well spent. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I don't
Okay,
think.
say these 2 guys left.
Yeah.
We have to give this guy $5,000 more, and we have to give this guy $2,000 more. Well, that's $7,000 right there. If we did $6,700 and increased that package and, payroll, or what do you call that? Hourly wage, then we might not have people leaving, so we wouldn't have to do that.
Well, if we choose to pick whatever package here, then we're going to have, based on what the council wants to do, they're going to recommend, and it's still ultimately
Right.
council decision.
Yeah.
Then we have the structure.
Yes,
So if somebody does leave, our structure is hopefully in line.
that's why I'm saying I think it's well money spent.
I'm looking for, I'm
I don't
looking for
wanna
more of
spend
the structure.
67.
We need to have that structure. We need to have
Absolutely.
that there.
And I agree with Gail, I think we need to have them giving us more delineated
too.
stuff.
I would like for him to come here, that's my opinion.
Okay, so the other thing that I would just say is that we discussed significantly the state of Minnesota's point system because that's what we've used, relied on. But if I give you all a job description, we'll all come up with different points values.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you think something's worth more than you think something's worth, or you don't think that it involves sitting or lifting, but you do. So there's not a real cohesive
Yeah.
package to
But
that.
together we can get a package.
We could, but I think having a third party
Oh, I see your point. Gotcha.
come from the outside to say this is,
Okay.
and compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges.
I'd rather have the people who know this do it and
Yeah.
tell us than, I mean, we might know it. There might even be people here who have, like you've done the police job, somebody may have done maintenance, but none of the rest of us have. We don't know what Eric does.
Right.
I mean, we see his job description, but we have no way to make a reliable comparison.
The other nice thing about this is, we do this and take care of this, a lot of the cities do a maintenance plan where every 5 years they have them come back for this $2,700.
Looks like we've
Re-go
got a
through
lot of
Re-go through stuff, make sure everything's to code.
cities and
current.
counties that they take care of already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
if
wasn't
you're,
a lot
if
of
you
smoke
want to do that,
trees,
if somebody wants to make a motion to table it and ask them to come back, I would be happy to do so.
Tony, did he speak about like, if we said, okay, we're gonna do the 6,700 and then we wanna do the 2,700 on ongoing maintenance, do we have to give them like half of it up
Yes.
front?
I would assume that it would be like half up front, half when
He's
completion of the study. I would
Okay.
assume. I don't know if that's the
Do
case.
you-
No, I was just curious if you talked about it.
How long does the study usually take, did he say?
So he told me that the market data is pretty much fluid. They have that pretty much now. They can dump that to us immediately.
It's just a matter of getting our job
Yep.
descriptions.
It didn't sound like he thought it wouldn't be manageable before the end of the year.
So we could maybe figure some of that into the
Yeah.
budget if we had to.
But like
I
Gail
think that's a good idea.
said, let's say, because I know this happened in Winston. The city employees were all 11% underpaid via the market study, and the administrative position was underpaid 25% of the market study.
Holy cow.
And the city just said, well, this is Winston and we're happy with where we're at. And that was the way they handled it.
I mean, I'm hopeful for a somewhat of a compromise. I don't doubt that we're lower, I don't doubt that at all. But I'm hoping that their recommendation doesn't come in here so crazy that we can't handle it.
No, and he specifically said, our goal is to help the council navigate those things. So if they choose that, let's for just round figures, let's say they say certain positions are underfunded by 10%. They may help you come up with a plan, so every year you give people 2.5%
Yeah.
to kind of catch them back up until we get to that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's something that they can assist with and make it a lot easier.
I think that's a lot easier to sell to the community too.
Yeah.
I mean, if we say, oh, we have to adjust it, boom, no, that's.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair.
No.
That's not fair. So,
That's my opinion. I would like to table it and have him come.
I would be happy to invite him.
I'll make
Sure.
a motion to have a table until the time frame that they can come and speak in front of us.
Second that.
Motion by Jason, seconded by Jody. Tony's got the verbiage to table the compensation proposal and invite, I wonder who it will be,
I would assume it would be the
Mark Goldberg.
yeah.
Okay.
But
to
I'll
the
invite him.
meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, now on for some bad news.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Dave Dunn tendered his resignation on Friday, 30-day notice, so he will be done on July 8th. I believe truly that he's just
Burnt out.
burnt out from COVID and everything else that happened.
Not
Unfortunately-
just here, but
Yeah, I think just
through his
across
career,
the
I'm
board,
sure.
yep. Unfortunately, we were supposed to meet today, but our schedules both got crazy, and so we didn't get a chance to connect, so we're hoping to connect tomorrow, but, so I guess the first thing I need you to do is just to accept the resignation of the care center administrator, and then we can have a conversation about our steps moving forward.
Regretfully.
I reluctantly make a motion to accept care center administrator's resignation.
Motion by Jody, seconded by Chad to accept the resignation of David Dunn as care center administrator. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I want him to stay.
Carried. We
So-
all want him to stay, but unfortunately, we can't reject.
Yeah, so now we need to discuss kind of our next steps. I had hoped that Dave and I could have connected today, because I wanted him to kind of give me some hints and tips and kind of what was going on at the care center, what was important to look out for over the next 30 days, and then into when we're getting that, but we were unable to connect, like I said, so. I'm hoping to have the meeting with him tomorrow, or it'll be this week for sure, because I'm not gonna let it go till the end of the week. But I just I wanted to kind of gauge from you guys if you wanted to do something similar to the last time where we hired a consulting firm to kind of run and manage things while we work
Same
through
one.
the employment
I have a
process.
choice.
Yeah,
Or,
we
Well,
can't do it.
Tony, I don't know if you're involved with it, but some of the board members and Lynn Fossen and that other, we have a Zoom meeting at 4:30 tomorrow
oh,
to address how we should proceed.
okay,
Perfect. That's perfect.
So.
at the care center? Or where?
No, it'll be a Zoom meeting.
Oh, just online?
Yeah,
Can you have them send me that link?
sure.
Because I would like to be a part of that.
Yeah, and you should be.
Yeah, because we're doing the hiring.
Yeah, so then I guess what I kinda, I don't wanna blink, but I would like the council to entertain the option of myself and the personnel committee, Gail and Lauren, kind of crafting a plan, before the next council meeting that we can put into place, and then have it formally approved by everybody else at that meeting. Because I'd like to get advertisements out as soon as possible.
Yeah, his last day is July
30th, and we have July 8th,
Yeah.
and that's Farm City Days weekend.
And our next meeting is 27th, so we definitely want something in place.
Yeah. But I think that if you trust me and Gail and Lauren on the personnel committee, I think we should be able to craft that.
I think so.
But
do that.
the personnel committee does not have any power without the council making them have power, so
That's exactly right.
I would like a motion from the council, if you so choose to do that, to allow myself and the personnel committee to work on that process.
I'll make a motion. That,
Who do you give it to?
we give you that power to go out.
Okay,
what
motion
you need
by
to do.
Jason, seconded by Chad. Exactly what you said, Tony,
Okay, so myself and the personnel committee will meet and formalize a plan and get it in
Bring
place.
something back.
so
to
that
us.
we have it by the 27th meeting.
Yeah.
For approval
Of May.
Yes.
of June.
Dude,
June.
Rama.
I looked at the.
We're not
Yeah,
going
that's my fault.
backwards.
My fault.
I looked at the calendar.
Chad usually tells me to change the calendar.
I can't see them little numbers, so I'm used to the big calendar there.
We need one from the state bank, maybe.
Okay.
They got an
Bigger
extra
one?
one. Yeah, they got a few.
Yeah, I can't see the little numbers on there, so.
I can if I stare.
All right, then we can go to. Gonna make it?
No,
What's
better
in
know
it?
your CPR.
Getting a kiss from me.
I'll tell you what this is after the meeting.
All right.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous, obviously we have nothing. So let's go right into Tony's report.
So you guys got my report. I don't want to read it all through like everybody else.
Please.
But I will highlight a few things. Sarah Jo and I got a really awesome tour of the wastewater treatment plant with Shell.
It is a fantastic tour. that she
Yeah,
gives.
so I would like to set up a tour with the entire council, or whoever's able to. There's a lot of walking, so I may not want to do
I've been
that.
through it before.
But there's a lot of things that need to be addressed.
I'm sure.
And things that have been let go and things that I would like you to see firsthand, just so that you're understanding of why they need to be replaced. So I'm thinking probably August, maybe.
Sure.
I think with Farm and City Days and everything else coming, it's gonna be too much of a,
That's fine.
either late July or early August. So I'll keep you informed on that.
Ask
days
Dar-
is she
ask
here
Darning
Tony?
to go with us.
She's here almost every day.
Oh, she is,
Darn it.
okay, all right.
Yeah,
Got the final payroll issues done, that's all taken care of, financials current. Wasika County News came down and interviewed about our logo contest.
so are they doing that as an article?
Yep,
Okay, good, thank you.
and
Free,
unfortunately, we only still got like one logo, so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna push a little bit more.
If we have to extend it, Tony, we have to extend it.
Yeah, that's my plan.
We want a handful.
If we have to forego Farm and City Days, we'll move it on to later on.
You name
Yeah.
the street after.
We can
you
do it,
know.
we can do it at night two. So we can do the voting at
Oh,
night
sure.
night. So, yeah, that was my plan too. So, I actually finished out sending the majority of the delinquent water bill notices, letters. I know that took a while, but I was trying to concentrate on those financials. So hopefully that will be all straightened out
Is this
from way earlier this year.
way earlier where we got yelled at by a couple people?
Yep.
Okay,
So, but I did a very nice letter explaining what our system does and how it's calculated and why those things didn't happen.
Good.
Just so.
Good.
Thank you.
it happens. Care Center's been billed for in lieu of taxes. It was not done last year, so it got done this year and for this year, or for last year and this year. Star Eagle interviewed me in my new role here.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Met with attorney regarding some pending litigation, met with Farm and City Days. And then I've decided to move. I really want to do that weekly thing with you guys, but just the way things have been done, it's just not.
I don't
working
think
out.
it's
So-
necessary, I think this is just fine.
So I have
Don't you?
transferred now the employee recognition onto the back of my council report. So every month in a 2-week period for the ambulance, you guys will just get some, I think it's important to highlight our staff. So nobody has birthdays this set of time, but Brandy Dockin, Hattie Jenkins, and Scott Tangen have all been on the ambulance for 1 year this month. So
Cool.
we'll thank them for their service. And
You hear any more on the audit stuff?
we can talk about that. So the Care Center audit is done. I should have a copy of that hopefully by the end of the week. And then Dave and Lindsay and I are gonna sit down with the auditor next week, I think, and go
Our
through
auditor?
that. No, the Care
Theirs.
Center. And then I talked to Tom and I'm sending that to him, hopefully I'm hoping I get it this week so I can send that to Tom.
I thought that was gonna be done a month ago.
Yeah, but so the Care Center auditors were short-staffed. So that caused theirs to be short-staffed, which caused ours to be
Yeah,
backed up.
no, I thought they were supposed to be done by,
They were supposed to be done back in like early May,
yeah,
or actually late April.
April.
So that's kind of dependent on that. And then I spoke with Tom a little bit about stuff. They're still working on a few of the items, and then that revenue stuff they're working on with me tomorrow with Jason to get that all taken care of.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that the capital stuff I would think would be done, and the water, I'll check with the water. That's one thing I didn't think about, but I'll check with the water and sewer rates because we should have something.
Yeah.
You know, like, as I told you, a conversation with Jason and Tom is because the sewer rates did not get changed in 2021. They feel we were short 100,000.
Mhm.
And
Hard to make it up.
And now here we are.
Halfway through.
Yes,
Half a year later.
it got corrected,
Right.
that's fine this year, but we're still
Right.
short that.
And the reason I haven't pushed a little harder is because every time we push and they work a little harder, it gets billed.
Yeah. there's
So I've
more
kind of
money
been just
involved.
That was
doing
gonna-
my best to let them work at their pace and ask them questions when they need stuff, but I don't want to push too hard and be like, we need this done now, and then,
I was gonna ask you if all your connection or communication with them, if they were billing us separately for it, or,
I don't know.
So far, nothing?
I have not seen anything.
Okay.
No, but always been very respectful of their time. Like anytime I send Tom anything, I say, I don't need this right now, so just as soon as you're able to, please, and they're usually really good about it. So like I said, that thing with we got a check for the TIF district for like $12,000, and then we got a TIF, our taxes from the county was like $295,000. But there's some bond payments and interest that have to be put in the right spot, and I can't for the life of me. So Jason's calling me tomorrow. We're gonna work through that process and get that done.
Okay. Have we gotten the first half LGA or no? Is that
Not
July?
that I'm aware of.
Wonder if that's July.
Yeah, it'd be
It
too
probably
soon,
will be
wouldn't it?
July.
Well,
state's
I
usually
always thought that was May, actually, but
The state's usually
It's probably on their fiscal year.
June is theirs.
June 30th is the end of their fiscal year, so it probably will be
will
July
be
1.
July.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should see a little bit better budget numbers after that, but yeah, there is that check will be deposited
Checks in the mail.
by Wednesday.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I'm gonna hound. We're spending money and none of it is going towards growing New Richland,
mhm.
and then
We did.
that's the other thing. Reach out to Darren Stanheim again.
Yep.
There's a possibility he can attend the
Next EDA meeting.
next EDA meeting. Jody, you had a question about EDA rent raise?
Yeah,
How can the council approve it
yeah,
without
without it,
the EDA approving it?
I always thought that EDA had to approve it and
I
then
don't know.
recommend approval to the council.
The reason that it was done that way is because the EDA is a subcommittee basically of the council, and everything's got to be approved by the council.
I understand that.
So
Since there were not enough members to attend that session.
We didn't have a quorum.
They didn't have a quorum, but those notices had to be sent out
I
by
didn't even
June
know about
1st
those
in
notices.
order for July rent. So the members that were in asked me to provide you with that information, and ultimately the council was to make that decision.
So it's a
What-
recommendation.
How did we get from, whatchamacallit, Mankato?
Lloyd's.
Management.
They said, they sent an email or what did they send? Said, hey, we have to raise the rent now.
No, we talked to them because it has something to do with the way things are done for, I don't know if it's Social Security or something involved with proper notification for all of that kind of stuff. And that was through a conversation that Sarah Jo and I had with her about some of the problems we were having with them taking care of maintenance issues at Cedar Point.
Right.
Our guys have had to come down there a few times and take care of stuff, but we've actually billed them and they paid for it.
Cause I know we just raised the rent last year.
Well,
And
the
this is the
charges for it. The pay for the
I
charges
just-
for it. It was raised last year?
It was raised last year,
I think last year was 20 or 25.
$25, I believe it was.
I think so too.
It's just that did you hear about this or just before?
I just heard about it at
It'd be
the
nice
meeting.
to, hear about things. I don't like secrets. I guess that's my biggest bitch is I just hate that kind of stuff.
Well, we have the ability here, anybody can join via digitally if we need to do that. So,
Right.
You mean as far as EDA?
Anything that the city does,
Right,
this is
it's all
accessible
open.
for
It's all open.
anybody, So,
I was just kind of blindsided
Yeah.
by it. That's okay. I'm glad it got done.
As long as we're on Cedar Point, I know I've on occasion had comments made about the list, the
mhm.
waiting list. Has that ever been gone through and cleaned up? I mean, are there
At
people-
least once or twice
Okay,
it has.
lately? That you know
The
of?
last person that probably did it was Wayne, shortly before he left, I know that he went through the list.
Okay.
I don't think Sarah-
Because there's
Sarah
a
Michelle
lot of
does.
questions on who decides the priority of that list.
So the policy that's written on the list, the way that it's listed, is that names go on the list in the order that they call.
Yeah,
Yes, first come,
And
first served.
then you have one opportunity to stay in your spot in the list and not take it. And then the second time you're asked, if you don't, you go to the bottom of the list.
do you know how many are on that list by chance?
So last time I looked, it was 25 or 30.
Mhm.
Now, I do know that there's at least one or two of those people who are on that list who probably are no longer with us.
That's why I was
So,
wondering if it
See,
needs
that's
to
what
be cleaned up.
updated.
The question, there's two people down there that are being questioned on how did they get in so quickly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why I said, I don't know, I'll take it to,
No, I do know that all the last people that were in there, certain people were asked and said no, and then they were the next on the list. So nobody got to jump the line.
probably get my name on that.
How often does they come available?
Very rarely,
Yeah.
which is why there's a 30% less.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, that's why Gail's recommending to talk to Darren again, because we have the need and want for another facility like that. It's just, I don't think the city has the money to do that, but if somebody would want to come in and do that, we could definitely help them with lots or some things like that.
He might be able to lead us towards, general contractor or somebody to put up a couple of townhomes out
Yeah.
there too.
Well,
I
know
believe St.
the
James
west-
and Blue Earth have done the same thing in the last couple of years.
I think townhomes would be beautiful out
The
there
west end of Homestake is all rezoned for that purpose.
for townhomes.
The other thing we did too was, so Lloyd,
This way or this way?
the north-south.
North south wall would be Cedar.
Yeah, the
That's
very
Elm.
west, the
That would
very
be
west
Elm.
edge.
Or Elm or
That would be
whatever.
Elm.
Near the pond.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the drawings that we had drawn where the lift station is would be a park
Green
slash
space.
community area with a pavilion, cause nobody would be able to use it as the driveway the way it was drawn.
And
We did-
I thought about that, where there was some discussion about putting a park out there. I don't wanna see a park go out there until we get some more homes.
Sarah Joe and I have had conversations with Lloyd Management too, because we asked them, because Sarah and I were kind of under the assumption that they own some of these facilities, but they are strictly just a management company. They don't
Yes,
have,
they-
they own nothing.
Nope.
So she gave us a few names of some builders that they work with on a very regular basis, who they would be willing to say, hey, if you build this in the original, we'd manage it for you. So that might be an option too, to get that kind of stuff in there
Cause
as
they
well.
built all kinds of them by the golf course in Overly and they manage them too.
Yeah. I did get two more, solid, actually, I think may follow through inquiries on Homestake this week. In fact, I just today got a purchase or a pre-approval finance letter and they picked a lot. So I don't know.
I got a call yesterday for building another house out there and they wanna start in 2 weeks.
From Arizona?
Nope, Silver Bay.
Okay. That's
Burnsville,
not- that's a
actually.
Different one then.
They actually live in
There's a
Burnsville.
lot of interest right now coming
That's
through,
good, that's good.
so,
Get away from the big city.
We gotta get moving. We have sat still for so long.
yep.
And, I just look at what we spent last year in training and all of that and, trying to get the office up to date with the systems and things, but man, oh man, we're not moving.
That's why I wanna get a lot of this stuff done. That's why I think this David Drown thing is a good idea, cause I wanna get some of this stuff done.
So we're
So that I can
solid.
go talk to him and work with the county EDA and make some of these meetings and handshake with these people and try to get some of this stuff back to our community, because we're not gonna do it unless we're trying to seek it out.
Yep.
And I think it's so important. I mean, that best organization is a
But we're gonna need-
huge thing.
We're gonna need the money too.
Right,
And,
but
that's what I mean,
the
we're just.
EDA does have some seed money to
Yeah.
take care of some stuff. And then also, my rough calculations, if we sold that Cedar Point facility, we could have up to close to $200,000 of liquid money to invest in some type of project.
Gosh, we should have more than that
Got more
by
than
the
that.
time we
No,
pay
because
it.
there's still some loans that need to be paid
I
off.
know, but don't you think that's gotta be worth 800 or?
Maybe now, but the market's gonna crash next month.
You gotta-
No,
You gotta
right,
find
right.
somebody, it's all whatever somebody's
Wants
willing
to
to
pay.
That's
pay.
whatever you're willing to pay is what the value is.
You can't really put a sticker price on it right
So-
now, because if you put a list price in it, there's people that could end up in a bidding war, there's people that will just say, I'm giving you this, and that's what I'm gonna do.
So just know that it's my goal to really get out and touch base with some of these people who can help move and shake and get some. Our biggest problem is our tax base. We need to stimulate our tax base, whether that be
Totally.
with some new homes or some businesses. And just sitting here talking about it, we're not gonna do anything about it. That's
Yeah.
why I wanna get out and talk to people and show them what's going on.
Because we are putting a tax burden on our
Absolutely.
citizens. It just,
I mean, you look at water rates and stuff, we don't have industry. Like Waseca, Winthrop, a few of these smaller cities that have big industrial parks can wager a little heavier price on the industrial side to take that side off of the citizens. We don't have that opportunity.
Right.
So,
Well, we got some, Care Center's got some land down there they could sell somebody to bring in a
you know,
business.
we were talking about maybe even going and talking to the people that own Whispering Oak or Pines or whatever it is in Allendale and seeing if, you know, we have this great, we'll give you the lot if you put something up, you know, kind of deal. And so.
Don't exhaust any.
No, I
ideas.
got a list of stuff, but I've been trying to get this financial crap taken
I know,
care
you
of,
know,
so.
when I sit there and I think about it at home and I think, man, for a year and a half, we've spun our wheels and spent money and spun our wheels and spent money. It's gonna feel good to finally get to a point where we're comfortable in how we're operating.
We're on dry land.
Yes.
I feel really bad right now because like Josh and I were having a conversation about the status of the vehicles and I can't even have a conversation with him about what to do because
Can't do anything.
I know that I had at least 5,000 and I know that I had set another 5,000. So I believe truly
And
that
that's probably their
I had
Tony.
$10,000 there for a car.
And you know, if you could find that list, I believe you're right.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I think we put aside 100,000 or more.
100 and some thousand.
That once we get that firm number, we can sit down and figure it out. But
And-
we just gotta be conscientious of what we have on hand for if we get grants where, you know, you gotta know we're gonna have to divvy up 50%.
So that's another thing too. I was doing some looking into that SLRF money, and they've opened it up quite a bit. Infrastructure, water and sewer projects qualifies as an approved expense for that money from the coronavirus.
It does.
Mm-hmm. So if we have any street repair project that involve water and sewer, we can leverage that money towards that and not pay for it out of our tax base.
And
How
which-
about some of the repairs that are needed out at the plant?
I think that probably would qualify. Because our electrician bill up there is gonna be
Yeah.
astronomical.
Is it?
Here we go.
Well, we're
Shell-
headed the right direction.
Yeah, Shell was awesome. She actually put together a list of everything that's either broken, not functioning, or needs to be fixed, and I have that in my,
She's good.
yeah, Shell is
I've been
amazing.
out there a bunch of
We
times.
can't lose her. We need to, we need
She's
to retain her.
something. You know, we needed a female out
pride.
there.
She takes pride in it.
Yeah, she does. She does. She does.
Can we
She,
get
That's
her
just
to
the way
move
she
to
is.
town?
she takes very big pride in that plant. I mean, nobody else at People Service knows how to run our plant. Because our plant is operated differently than anybody else's plant. And there's not the same computer stuff, not the same mechanical stuff. A lot of the stuff that she does is by watching dials and gallons, and I mean, she wastes the exact same amount of stuff every day because she knows that keeps her bugs alive and everything. I mean, it's.
Well, maybe we can get her to move to town.
Well,
She
in the
wanted
beginning,
anything?
she wanted to. I
Yeah.
wonder if she's still
I
looking.
don't think she found anything.
Not much to find, I don't think.
Not a whole lot to be
Well, I know where there's an
available.
apartment.
You do?
Yeah.
I know you do. Okay.
Okay, as long as we're all on the same page and headed the right direction, we're,
I'm on this page right here.
yeah.
Is that the page you're on?
Yep.
Okay then.
There.
On this page.
Is there anything else before he jumps in?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Chad, second by Lauren to adjourn the meeting at 8:14 PM.
You pass this
Any
down
other
there.
discussion?
I don't want it.
Don't you? I'll
All
throw it
in
away.
favor, say
Is
aye.
that okay?
Aye.
That's fine.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just put it on that pile of